All right, guys, I'm back. It's June 18th, and I got some players that I absolutely love for us to put into some player props. But before we do, let's recap yesterday. All right, there was a short slate of games for Monday. We had no Tier 1 or Tier 2 plays. We just have this experimental 3-pitch strategy that didn't perform the way I thought it could. Profar singled for us, and Nathaniel Lowe did not get a hit. Looking at this, and we are 5-3 since we kind of started this little experiment for 63% winners. Definitely underperforming, but if Lowe would have got a hit, then it changes everything. It's such a small sample size. It would have been 6-2, and all of a sudden, it looks pretty good, 75%. So it's way too early to tell if this is good or bad. Is what I'm trying to say. I'm definitely seeing things with Lowe and some of the other players that did not get a hit that I could kind of pull back the reins and get more selective, which might be what I'll have to do. But all right, let's move on. I have Tier 2 and Tier 1 plays for today, and none of this junk right here. All right, I got 2 Tier 1 plays, and if you're new here, how have the Tier 1 plays performed? Much better than those experimental ones. We've hit 85 of the last 103. That's 85 correct batters to record a hit, and just 18 that did not, for an 83% hit rate. Let's get right to the 2 players that qualify under this method. All right, the first one, Marcell Ozuna versus Casey Mize. And when you look at Mize, he's got 4 pitches he likes to throw, okay? The 4-seam fastball, he throws at about 40% of the time versus right-handed batters, giving it up at almost a 300 batting average. Not good at all. Exactly what I'm looking for, especially when Ozuna is hitting the 4-seam fastball at a 358 rate all season long. Moving on to the next pitch, 34% of the time he throws the slider, gives that up even worse at a 350 batting average, and Ozuna's almost at a 300 hitting the slider. Absolutely a great matchup on these first 2 pitches. And then moving on to the third pitch, 11% of the time the sinker, giving that up also at 350 batting average. And Marcell Ozuna crushes the sinker at a 359 rate all season long. And then the fourth pitch, 10% of the time, the split finger, Casey Mize is giving that up at a 500 batting average, and Ozuna is hitting that at a 500 batting average, so I don't know if he wants to throw any of that stuff. And then he got a 5th ball that I couldn't fit on the screen there, but below them says the knuckle curve. He throws about 5% of the time. He gives that up at a batting average of 400. Casey Mize does, and Ozuna, he hits it at a 250 rate. I absolutely love the opportunity for Marcell Ozuna because he hits all these pitches very well, okay? And Mize does not command any of them well at all. This is a perfect scenario, if there's a such thing. Perfect. What's perfect mean? There's no guarantees, but I absolutely love the opportunity for Ozuna. And Ballpark Pal has this listed as a strong advantage for Ozuna. He represents the worst 9 percentile of possible matchups for Casey Mize. And when you look at the body of work for the big bear, Marcell Ozuna, he's recorded at least 1 hit in 56 of his last 68 games. He's on fire, and it's, the duration of his fire has been all season long, okay? He's got a 313 batting average versus right-handed pitchers in the last 14 days. His barrel rate is in the elite range. His ISO rate is in the elite range. You think he's a home run threat? Of course he is. And if you don't know, I got another video out there about just the home run plays for Dinger Tuesday, and you think he's on it? Of course he is. So does he have the power for extra base hits? Of course he does. If you like to play the over 1.5 total bases type of play, those individual or straight bets, you can, I think that's in play. But the easy, or nothing's easy, okay? The more likely or the higher probability to hit would be him just to record a hit. And obviously, if you're new here, when you play these players just to record a hit, the odds are too high. You must find someone else to parlay him up with to get reasonable odds. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm looking to use Ozuna with the next guy that I'm going to tell you about right now. All right, my second Tier 1 play, the plays that are hitting at 83% effectiveness, just record a hit on a sample size that's over 100 players in quantity. I got Adley Rutschman versus Nestor Cortez Jr. And when you look at Cortez Jr., he loves throwing that 4-seam fastball at 47% of the time on average, giving it up at a 279 batting average. Not very good. Okay, Rutschman, batting this four-seam fastball all season long at a 273 rate. Not lights out, but it's definitely a respectable average versus the four-seam fastball. Moving on to the second pitch, the cutter, 33% of the time Cortez throws that. He commands it relatively well at a 212 batting average against. Rutschman loves hitting that cutter, baby, a 333 batting average. Moving on to the third pitch, 11% of the time the sweeper. Oh, he has no command over this. Cortez is giving that up at a 353 rate. I'd love for him to throw a lot of that because Rutschman says, I love the sweeper, baby. I'll sweep the floor up with that. I hit that at a 417 rate. And then the change up, we're getting like into the weeds here. 9% and then change up, his fourth pitch. Commands it pretty well, 194 batting average. Rutschman, not hitting that one very well at a 184. So there's a little bit of a little question mark with that pitch, but I still love this play. At Ballpark Pal, they have this listed as an extreme advantage for Adley Rutschman. He represents the worst 3 percentile of possible matchups for Nestor Cortez Jr. And when you look at the last 20 games, Rutschman, he's recorded at least one hit in 14 of his last 20. Okay, so it's a little light. I still like this for a tier 1. I was going back and forth between tier 1 and tier 2. The reason I kind of went tier 1 was, well, a lot of things, but a 385 batting average in the last 14 days versus left-handed pitchers. That is awesome. I love that. His barrel rate's in the good range. His ISO rate is in the elite range. I have him down as a medium home run threat. That might be a little, I don't know. I don't think he's that. I wouldn't play him for a home run. Like I said, I got another video that's out right now for Dinger Tuesday where I have a bunch of players that are absolutely amazing for home runs. So we're going to leave him off the table here for a home run. But I do think he has the power for extra base hits. So the over 1.5 total base play bet is definitely in play. But like I said, it's always the baseline prediction is just to record a hit. So it's most likely going to be Ozuna with Rutschman. But if you kind of concerned about that changeup pitch right there, like maybe I should be a little more concerned. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying like I'm just totally disregarding it. Maybe like the next guy I have right here. Actually, let's back it up a second. The reason why I really love this play is I forgot to tell you this. 16 at-bats, the history between Rutschman and Cortez. Okay, 16 at-bats, 7 hits. I absolutely love this. So I think he really picks up on his pitch as well. So, I love this one. And let's move on to the next play right here, which is a tier 2. And when you look at tier 2 plays, we are hitting them pretty well on the season. We're hitting them at a 75% clip, 144 correct batters to record a hit. We missed on 50 of them. So like I said, a 75% hit rate. Let's get right to it. All right, guys, the third and final matchup. Again, a tier 2 play. And I'm just going to be totally honest with you guys. It's probably a low-end tier 2 play. I'm not going to go through the whole slide. I'm just going to point some things out. What I love is Martinez versus Michael Lorenzen. And you look at Michael Lorenzen's pitch usage percentage, 34% of the time he throws a sinker, and he's not commanding it very well. A 353 batting average given up. It's absolutely horrible. And what's great is Martinez loves the sinker. He's hitting it at a 458 rate. Okay, it sounds really great. But when we move on to the next couple pitches, the next 2 of 3 pitches, he commands relatively well. That is Lorenzen. And Martinez only hits, elite, if you will, 1 of the 3. He's a little light on the slider and sweeper, a 217 batting average and a 231. So that's where this one drops from a potential tier 1 to a tier 2. Just to be totally honest, I was going back and forth if I should just make this an honorable mention. But I went with a tier 2. So I just be totally honest with you guys. So take that knowledge and use it and for whatever that means to you. Okay. Ballpark Palace listed as a strong advantage for Martinez. It represents the worst 11 percentile of possible matchups for Lorenzen. That slide should be updated because I'm pretty sure Martinez recorded a hit last night as they had 20 plus hits in the game. He was just routing them. So it should say most likely Martinez recorded at least 1 hit in 26 of his last 30 games. He's been on fire. A 333 batting average with right-handed pitchers, a barrel rate that's elite, an ISO rate that's elite. So I got him as a home run threat. when I say home run threat, doesn't mean I'm saying he's a home run play. It's just that he has the bare minimum qualifications for me, the barrel rate and the ISO rate, that I would actually have to look at it a little further, at the weather, at the stadium, at like the pitching matchups in terms of how many home runs they give up, a home run to fly ball. There's different things like that. But a home run threat means he meets the bare minimum requirements where you'd want to look into it a little bit more. He does have the power for extra base hits, so the over 1.5 total base bet is in play. But as always, the baseline prediction is just to record a hit. Like I said, I'm probably just going to parlay the other two guys, Rutschman and Ozuna, and leave this one because I do have my concerns about this one. But I'm trying to bring forth, opportunities for you guys to decide what's proper for you. I mean, it does qualify as a tier 2 play. Like I said, a very low end. It barely graded out. So, like I said, just take that information for what it's worth, and we'll leave it there. Can you hit that like button? I'd really appreciate it. Leave a comment in the comment section. It helps the algorithm. I don't care if you close your eyes and press one key on the keyboard. I'll understand if you just hit like a O or something like that, or a question mark or an ampersand sign. If I even said that right, hit that thing. Absolutely would help the channel out. And like I said, subscribe if you haven't. And I'll leave it right there. I'll just talk to you guys tomorrow.